Microphone on, or I'm just not close enough?
There you go.
Do you want me to repeat? I didn't hear him.
It's up to
Yes.
you.
Wareham Conservation Commission meeting Wednesday, May 17th is called to order at 7:03. The meeting is being taped for publication and review on WCTV at a later date. We have present Alyssa Hurd, Mary, I got it, wait a minute, Mary
You're-
Taggart, Joe Liggett, Dave Pichette, Elizabeth Lyden, and Jim Smith, and Sandy Slavin, acting chair. Ken will not be here, and we heard from Ron, and he would not be here, so. We have some continued public hearings that we can start now. We have a Frank Adrien that has requested a continuation until 6:21. I take a motion. Joe's moved that we continue to 6:21. Mary has seconded. All in favor? Aye. Abstained. Oh, is there anybody here for that hearing for the Manamet Shores Development Improvement Association? I'm seeing none. We're going to continue the hearing until 6:21. We also, yes, June 21st. We have a hearing for Gary Buckminster, Wareham Harbor Master Shellfish Department in care of the Nature Conservancy. They wish to be continued until 6/7. Is there anybody here for that? I'm seeing none. I'll take a motion. Joe's moved that we continue until 6/7. Mary has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It passes. Now, we can't do our public hearings until 7:15. Mr. Bichette, is there anything else on the agenda you'd like to cover at this time other than the minutes?
We can cover the other two items, the enforcement order and the certificate of compliance. Under the enforcement order, we did get a letter finally from town council, which is in your mail packet, addressing the issue, and that letter has been, or is going out in today's mail to the property owner.
So we'll continue to hold that on the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have a certification of compliance for Brown Builders 8 Pond View Terrace.
Yes, this project was for the construction of a single-family home at this location, 8 Pondview Terrace. The project has been completed. They did initially disturb some area of the buffer zone and had not properly stabilized it upon their initial request for the certificate of compliance. We had asked for some stabilization work to be done in terms of some plantings, which have been completed recently. So at this point, I would recommend the issuance of the certificate of compliance for the project.
Is there anybody here for this? Is there any discussion on the board? I'm seeing none. I'll take a motion. Joe's motion to issue the certification of compliance.
Second.
Second by Mary. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Well, we have two sets of minutes to be reviewed and voted upon. August 17th, 2016. Elizabeth and Alyssa, you were absent at that meeting, but has anybody have any comments on the August 17, 2016 minutes?
Nope.
Seeing none? I've reviewed them and I have no adjustments to them. I'll take a motion to accept them.
Motion to accept.
Mary has motion to accept.
Second.
Were you an associate at that time?
I don't think so.
I think I have the dates for that here. Hold on a moment. are when they became full members.
Mary, at the time you were associate,
All right.
so will you please withdraw your motion?
Withdraw my motion.
Okay, I need a
Motion accept. What am I doing
Joe's
with
motion to accept.
Yes, it is.
I need a second. Second by Jim.
This was next, right? Isn't it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstained? Opposed? So we have one abstention. Alyssa, you are abstaining also? You
I
were
am.
not present.
I am.
Okay, so,
I am.
Okay, so I have, can Mary vote now?
Yes.
Yes, now she can. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 402.
402.
402. We have a second set of minutes from February 1st, 2017. Has anybody have any comments on them? Jim and Mark were missing. Thank you, Alyssa. Sorry, Elizabeth has moved to accept the minutes. Joe has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1.
Abstain on that one.
Jim? And just give me a minute to sign the minutes. I signed on the wrong line.
It's okay.
Okay, here, you can have that note back. Yes? I didn't hear him.
Said the clerk. Was he talking about Joe?
Joe, you have to come closer to the microphone. He can't hear you. What?
Move it over.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I don't want to sit here, but we have to wait until another 4 minutes, until 7:15 to start the hearings. Anything else we can discuss? We've done the reappointments. Correct? The letters have gone to the selectmen for those to be reappointed. Conservation restrictions and stewardship. We've got a couple sites coming up, correct? I think we have what? Mark's Cove and
Hideaway.
Hideaway
Yeah, Hideaway.
down at Swiss, and Joe and I will take that responsibility off and have it done within the next month. Any bills and appointments?
No bills.
We are down one associate member if anybody might be interested. Anything we want to talk about for 3 minutes?
Not necessarily.
There is concrete in those things on Main Street.
I did notice that when I drove by, one of them looked that way and another one looked like they used sort of a combination of things. But either way, I don't think it's something that we would have
Outside the
jurisdiction over.
200-foot.
Right.
Sandy, which one is this one that's being continued? Green Gate? I don't see green.
That's Franklin.
That's Franklin, all right.
Franklin is the property on Green Gate.
Okay, he wants to go to the 7th. Yep.
God, it's amazing how time slows when you're waiting for it.
It's like waiting
Like
for ice
water.
cream.
Watching water boil.
One more minute.
One more minute. I always fall asleep when I watch the planning board as they spend minutes looking at the plans and saying nothing, and I've said, boy, I bet people are falling asleep at this meeting.
You probably said it about this one.
Oh, well, planning usually puts me to sleep.
Seconds.
Huh?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Wait a minute, what is your clock, what does your watch say?
This is so crazy. Did you
Oh.
read this?
For Joe's
Network time.
network time at 7:15. Elizabeth, please.
Notice the public hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Wareham Wetland Protection. Can you hear me?
Just bring it a little closer.
Notice of public hearing
There you go.
pursuant to the provisions of the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. On Wednesday, May 17th, 2017 at 7:15 PM on the request for determination of applicability for Albert W. Tachi, P.O. Box 627, West Wareham, Mass. 02576, to add a porch to an existing structure for property located on Assessor's Map 18, Lot 1027, 11 Arlington Road, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. Will you please identify yourself for the record?
Albert W. Tosi.
Do you have your green cards? Now
I
that
do.
Now that you've had yourself in a seat, I'm going to ask you to pass them up to us, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Bichette will speak to the project.
The project site is at 11 Arlington Road, and the project involves the construction of an addition within a coastal flood zone. A 10 by 23-foot, three-season room is proposed in flood zone AE elevation 14. The addition would require 4 sonotube footings. There are no grade changes proposed at the site. The location of the addition is in the existing yard area. All of the work is proposed to be done by hand, so I would recommend approval of the project with a negative number 2 determination.
Is there anything you'd like to add to
No.
that comment?
No.
Okay, to the board. Jim?
Nothing?
Elizabeth?
Questions?
Alyssa?
I have a question. Is this a room or a porch?
Well, it's a porch.
It's
Okay.
going to be a covered, walled-in porch, though.
Covered, walled-in porch.
Well, yeah, it'll be like a three-season
Right.
room, I guess.
Three-season room.
Yeah. Its intended use is a porch.
Anything else?
I just, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to see how far is he from the wetland? You know?
Bob, can you hear her?
I'm here.
Yeah, the project is not in the buffer zone to wetlands, it just happens to be in a coastal flood zone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mary?
No question.
Joe?
All set.
Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak for or against this project? Seeing none,
Motion to close?
Joe's motion to close.
Second?
Second by Mary, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained?
Motion to grant with a negative 2 determination?
Joe's motion to grant with a -2 determination.
Second.
Second by Elizabeth. I heard that one first.
Right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, passes. Please see Mr. Bichette before you start your work.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Now, I have a question. Can I go apply for the building permit now?
Yes.
Okay. Am I going to get some notification from you, or?
Yeah, you'll get a document in the mail from us, but you can apply for your permit right away at this
Okay.
point.
All right, great. Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Take care.
Notice of public hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. On Wednesday, May 17th, 2017 at 7:15 PM on the request for determination of applicability for Ben Marshall, care of JC Engineering, Inc.,
Thank you.
2854 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, Mass. 02538, to install a fence and vegetation restoration for property located on Assessor's Map 2, Lot LC7, 16 Cove Street, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. Please identify yourself for the records.
Good evening, Brad Bertolo, JC Engineering.
Ben Marshall, property owner.
Gary Lerner, abutter.
Thank you, Mr. Bichette. Will speak to the project.
So again, this project is at 16 Cove Street in Onset, and the project involves replanting an area of vegetation that was removed. Also proposed is fencing on a coastal dune, coastal bank, and within the buffer zone to a coastal beach, and also within a coastal flood zone. There was an area of vegetation on the site, approximately 1,000 square feet in size, that was cut with no approval from the commission. The project proposes to replant that disturbed area with bearberry and northern bayberry shrubs. Also proposes to install fencing on the edge of the property. Picket fencing would be proposed to be installed along the road edge and also along the edge of the beach. This would involve fencing being placed in close proximity to the coastal beaches on the site. I did speak to the engineer and the applicant, and I did state that my recommendation was going to be that I would like to see the fencing not be allowed within 30 feet of the beaches, or that instead of an actual fence, that maybe some natural vegetation be used as a buffer instead of the fencing. This would provide a barrier without proposing fixed fencing along the edge of the beach. As far as the replanting goes, obviously that's something that we would want to see happen. But my recommendation is to have a revision to the plan to show that the fence not be within 30 feet of the beaches. And if that is not something that the applicant wishes to do, then I would recommend a positive determination to require a notice of intent be filed for the project.
Brad, anything to add to that, please?
For the beach.
Yes. Mr. Marshall had contacted us about two issues here, one being the replanting, and we're well aware that that needs to be taking place. He had hired a landscaper to remove some poison ivy and obviously went a little overboard on removing the vegetation. I have some pictures of what it used to look like. If you want to see that, I can pass it out. In regards to the fencing, he is trying to provide some privacy to his property and to delineate his lines. As you can see on the sketch that we have provided, the association beach is just to the west of this lot, and the beach area is in close proximity to the property line. This area is a dune and obviously acts as a dune. Applicant's well aware of that. We're just trying to prevent trespassing or future trespassing should this beach seem to expand in the future. We are providing a picket fence down the property line, just something that would kind of delineate the lines, but also not prevent any sand movement or critters from walking back and forth. We felt that'd be minimal work to the area, should not impact the resource areas.
Just to add in, the reason Gary's here, besides being the abutter, he's also the president of the Beach Association. So everything that we're doing, it's in joint consideration. We're trying to make everybody happy, but I have 5 kids, and I've got a 6th one coming this summer. And with the kids running around, I want to be able to keep my kids enclosed and keep other people, I mean, obviously people are going to see the kids. I'm not worried about that, but it's nice to have a yard that we can use without worrying about other things happening. So that's what we're trying to do.
Gary, do you have any comment?
Well, what he was planning was they were gonna, the fence, they were gonna make it like scalloped, and that's fine with us. That'd be no problem.
What's a scalloped fence?
Yeah, why don't you describe that?
Oh, it's where it makes that U shape where, it really keeps it looking pretty and goes up and down. The picket fence where the details come. I'm trying to make it look really pretty. It's not supposed to be a scary fence for the people who are using the Beach Association beach. It's supposed to be a very nice decorative fence that both satisfies how good looking that association beach is and keeps our property separated.
And what is the height at the maximum and the height at the minimum of this scalloped fence?
I think it's 4 feet at the height.
So it's a solid fence?
No, it's a picket fence. Scallop is just the design of the top detail.
Top part.
Goes up and down. Like that.
Okay, a picket fence.
It's
So
a
you can
picket
see,
fence that-
you can see through the pickets,
Yeah, plenty of space for all the wildlife to get through.
whether you want the skunks or not. Question from the board?
Nope,
Jim?
I have nothing.
Elizabeth?
No.
Alyssa?
Road used to be there.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's on.
Mary?
No question?
Joe?
My question's for Dave. Dave, where would the 30-foot mark that you were talking about while you were recommending, where would that be coming in? Okay, you're talking 30 feet back from this, right?
Right.
So where would it be, Dave?
I'd like to see it back in here.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's got 5 kids and he wants landscape
Yeah,
too.
but this is all going to be...
This is all going to be pucker brush.
Okay.
And this is okay right here, Dave?
Yeah, and that stretch, they're not really proposing a solid fence. There's going to be piles with rope, as I understand it, along that stretch on the water side.
Just to delineate your property?
Well, I mean, we also have the beach as part of the property, but here there's a drop-off that's pre-existing, and it's because my grandparents like to come down to visit, so it's a quick way, so that way if they're walking around, we're doing something. We're doing my son's bar mitzvah this summer, so I see it being a place where everyone's going to be schmoozing, and I want to be able to have it so no one trips and falls off the
Oh,
beach.
that's no problem. That's no problem.
There is a set of stairs there now, correct?
There is, but it's all the way over towards the
Yeah.
far right. Yeah.
Joe and I did visit the site on Monday, and just to take a look at where the vegetation had been removed. So there was some talk about planting shrubbery to identify the delineation. Where would that shrubbery go? Because it's not on,
No,
Where
that
would you-
was a recommendation that I had versus a solid fence, was to use vegetation as a way to enclose that area and mark it versus a solid fence. I just don't want the habit of people fencing right up to the resource areas. We do have a 30-foot no-activity zone, so we're just trying to maintain that without having these things installed right up against the edge of the beach. That's
And-
my opinion, anyway.
the note said you had a privacy fence along the street. Is that a solid fence? A privacy fence?
Privacy fence along the street is a solid fence. Yeah, to keep balls from going into the street.
Now, Mr. Bichette, you asked that there be some changes made. Was that to show the fence outside the 30-foot?
Yes, that was my recommendation.
Is there any chance we can really get some document that show where the 30-foot line is from all of the wetlands, the beach?
It would most likely just be a small, square grass section fenced in. There's
Because it's right up against the water all the way around.
There's a coastal bank that runs where the proposed posts are going to be, right at the edge
Yep.
of the
I'm more
beach.
concerned
Yep.
on this.
He's just
not
worried about
'cause This is
this.
already on, so
Yes.
it's not such a critical
Yeah.
thing here.
Between the lawn and the Broad Cove, there is a area that's already been planted, correct? There's a stretch that has a couple pieces of plants in them.
I guess a mulch
A
strip
couple.
between the grass
It
and the
has some
beach.
pretty unhappy hosta there, if I recall, right? Along the beach?
There's the grass, and then there's the hosta, and then
Yep.
there's like a wood thing holding it all back.
Yep.
Right there.
And so the idea is that these proposed timber piles would be where? Before, closer, where would they be in relationship to that strip that's already been disturbed
Right, they're in them.
in them?
Yeah.
So you'll plant it right up to the border where you have pylons already.
No, what are we talking
No,
about
I'm
here?
not.
Down by the water.
If you walk into your yard, you have a strip of maybe about 12 inches wide where it has been planted, where you have a couple hosta.
When you get
Are we talking about along the beach in the front of at the very, towards Broad Cove on that side?
Yes.
Oh, so,
So where you're talking about putting proposed timber piles set 8 to 10 feet apart, set 3 to 4 feet above grade, hand dug. I'm talking that area. Would it be where it's been disturbed for your plants already?
Correct, yes.
Would it, no closer to the water, but in that area that's already been disturbed?
yes.
Okay. Now, then the question I think Mr. Bichette have is where the particular fence will go that runs adjacent to the community beach, correct?
Yes.
Where it comes up to that 1,000 square foot area that has been cleared of vegetation. Mr. Bichette, what's your recommendation?
Again, I would just like to see it held off the edge of the beach, 30 feet if possible. That's what we have relative to our standard, and so that's what I'm trying to see if we can achieve.
That sort of comes to the area where that metal guard is, correct? There's already a street, what do you want to call it? Metal, what's the word?
Guardrail.
Guardrail.
Oh, that's a wooden,
Wooden.
That's wood.
that wooden fence there?
The wooden fence that goes up to where our property is, where the stone wall is on
I
the
thought it
road.
looked like a metal guardrail. It's wood, but it is a guardrail.
It's a wooden retaining wall kind of holding the material back.
Holding all the material, sand back and everything.
And that's at the edge of the cleared area, but not to the edge of the property.
It goes right up to the beach, goes right up to the beach where the stone wall is that we own.
What you want?
No, I was just looking at what you were looking at.
Is there, are we asking for a redo of the plan to pull that fence further away from the resource area?
That's my recommendation.
And you want something in writing on the plantings?
Well, have the plantings been agreed upon?
Yes, the plantings they are proposing, they do state that in their application.
Will all of it be those, the vegetation, the bushes that you've mentioned, or would it be grass?
Well, the area to be replanted would be the proposed shrubs, which would be the bearberry and the northern bayberry.
And on the land between the two bushes, what would they put there? Bark mulch?
I'm not sure I'm hearing what you're
Well,
asking.
the land has been cleared of invasives, correct?
Yes, of everything.
Invasives, so they're going to come back. What can they do to prevent the invasives from coming back after they plant the bushes?
Well, they'll have to continue to sort of hand prune that stuff as it seems to pop up, you know?
Is there something they can put mulch down or a fabric down to try to prevent the popping up of those invasives? It hasn't been mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think that's needed. I don't think it would really work there. The root systems are there. It's going to come through mulch. I think once the other plants take, they will hopefully shade out the other plants. And if they do seem to come up through that, then they'll have to hand trim or prune that stuff back.
Is there anybody here that has not spoken that would like to speak for or against this project? Seeing none. Is there a feeling from the board where you'd like to see an increased plan, a different plan that shows the setback further from the resource?
Yeah, that
May I
western
ask a
fence.
question?
Yes.
That is, all right, so we have some boulders which delineate the beach already there. Is there any way with this, is that something that's acceptable to put down, on farther up shore, or no? When he redelineates it? I mean, I don't know.
Are you saying there's boulders there that already identify the land?
Used to identify
Correct.
the beach or the,
The boulders have been there since day
Yes.
one.
No,
That's
but they're
exactly-
there identifying your property line.
You went from the end of the stone wall to where his property starts, somewhere down below, there's a stone marker, okay? Where, where his property is. But if you want to go back, like you said, X amount of feet from the beach, that's fine,
And if the fence is put back X amount of feet from the property line, who maintains that vegetation between the association beach and Mr. Marshall's beach?
That's been growing for
Yeah,
years.
Yeah, so it's
still,
there.
It's still going to be his
It-
land. It's just beach grass and different
Land,
things.
it's,
Yeah.
there's no problem.
So it's where it is now, it's overgrown, and it will just stay overgrown.
Right, exactly.
It's a live dune.
And it'll probably be covered in with sand. Mr. Marshall, do you understand what we're asking for?
Yeah, the issue with the 30 feet is once we do everything with that 30 feet buffer, you lose the whole property.
Well,
No, we're only talking about the western side.
We're just talking on our beach side, that's all.
because that land has already been
Western
disturbed.
fence.
Using this picture, where do we think 30 feet is?
Be right up to the disturbed area that's marked out in blue.
What side of the disturbed area?
It'll be on the western side of it.
Facing the beach.
It looks like you're only going to be moving it maybe about 15 feet.
It'd be on this.
So what we're suggesting is do a picket fence, but do it
This gets
in at the
moved
line of the disturbed
above,
area?
so it's 30
Up to
feet
the line of the disturbed area?
I mean,
Because the other part has already been disturbed. The other land that's within 30 feet. You have a bed of plants there that's already been disturbed, and you're asking just to put some timber piles in that area.
right. Oh, you're saying against Broad Cove at that point?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's already been disturbed, so there's no way we can enforce a 30-foot no-work zone when it's already been worked on.
Right.
It's the area next to the disturbed section that's being replanted that we're asking you to pull the fence back from the Association Beach.
Well, that was on the property line,
This
you want to go
portion.
back 30 feet. That's what they're asking.
But they're not asking me to go back 30 feet.
30
No,
feet
15
from our property line on the beach.
I
Here,
don't think, you're not asking to go back 30 feet. You're
No.
asking to go back to the
To the-
beach,
To the disturbed area,
right, to the edge of the disturbed
Yeah,
edge of the.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
right.
looks like it's about 10 feet, maybe?
Yeah, so it'd be probably from this point.
We have a discretion on our 30-foot no-work zone.
Okay.
We realize if we took that, we'll took a substantial part of your property. That's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for some setback from the natural growing area between your property and the Association Beach.
Pretty much from this wall, wooden wall back to through this tree.
I mean, I don't mind. It's either way. It's on one side, if I put the fence all the way to the beach side, it's going to cost me a lot in continuous landscaping, trying to keep that place nice and clean.
It's
So,
just a strip.
right, it's a strip. It's the strip that I can't really use for anything. It's just landscaping to try to keep it so it's nice.
As it is now.
But the flip side is that if, from the association side of it, they're not going to landscape it, it's going to end up being this overrun area.
Like it is
poison
now.
ivy, like it is now.
Yeah, and it'll continue that way.
But I don't
Which-
know that, I'm okay with it. I don't see that it's in anyone's best interest to do it that way, but I'm okay with it.
It's just a live dune. It's-
It'll
They change in time.
Yeah, I guess so.
They did it before we got here.
I would love to avoid having to do another submittal. Maybe we can mark this up and see if we can do a hand marking on it and get that approved.
Dave, would that work for you?
You're referring to pretty much where the disturbance is.
Right.
Yeah, from this, to the end of that retaining wall. is-
Right here.
Yeah, through that.
I think it's in everyone's best interest.
So if I take a look at this here, it would be,
Yes.
The commission can approve it that way with that condition. You can approve it with a condition to that effect, if that's the wish of the board.
any comment on the board on that acceptance?
Sounds good to me.
I'm fine with it.
Sounds all right.
Okay. So I think I asked the public, there's nobody here, so any other comments? I'll take a motion.
Motion to close?
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
I have a second by Alyssa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. The hearing is closed.
Make a motion to grant with -2, with stipulation that they submit Dave a plan that he approves that we talked about tonight, moving that western fence over. And you've already got the schedule for planning, so that should be it, right, Dave? Okay, that'll be my motion.
Joe's motion.
Second.
I heard Mary's second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain? Opposed? Abstained? Passes. Nothing is done until you get, you work with Mr. Fischett on that.
Correct.
Okay. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good bar mitzvah.
Thank you.
Notice
you
of
wanna
public
keep that,
hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in Room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass., on Wednesday, May 17th, 2017, at 7:15 p.m. on the request for determination of applicability for William Franklin, care of Green Steel Environmental, Inc., 114 State Road, Sagamore Beach, Mass. 02562, to repair an existing septic system for property located on Assessor's Map 27, Lot 1003B, 77 Green Gate Lane, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. We've had a request to continue this hearing until 6/7. Is there anybody in this audience here for Mr. Franklin's project? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to continue until 6/7.
I'll move.
Mary's made the motion.
Second.
Alyssa is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained. It's continued until 6/7.
Everybody bring your pillow that night.
I will not be here. Next, please.
Notice of public hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in Room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass., on Wednesday, May 17th, 2017, at 7:15 p.m. on the request for determination of applicability from Mark Kimball, Eversource Energy,
7 minutes.
care of Weston and Sampson, 5 Centennial Drive, Peabody, Mass. 01960, to clear land and install solar panels for property located on Assessor's Map 87, lots 1000E and 1000E-2, 33 and 35 Seth F. Toby Road, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. Will you please identify yourself for the record?
Mel Higgins from Weston and Sampson.
Leah Jimziak, Burns and McDonald.
Paul Sylvester, Burns and McDonald.
Joe, did you get those
What?
names?
I don't write down the names, but
Oh,
I
okay.
recorded.
That's right, well, we're calling. Okey dokey.
We can write them down if that's
That's right.
helpful.
Plus,
Mr.
nobody can read my spelling anyway.
Mr. Bichette will speak for the project.
Okay, again, site is at 33 and 35 Seth Toby Road, and the project involves the construction of a solar field, which would involve the clearing of an additional 7.2 acres of land on this property beyond the area that's already cleared at this site. The request is to have the commission determine if the site has any jurisdictional wetlands on it under the Wetlands Act or the town's wetland bylaw. Upon review of the project site, it was determined that there are no wetland resource areas on the site in terms of where the project is proposed, and the work is not in the buffer zone to any other resource areas beyond the property. So I would recommend the issuance of a negative determination referencing that there are no resource areas on the site with a negative determination number 1 and number 6, which would reference the Wetlands Act and the town's wetland bylaw.
Would you like to, Mel, like to speak to the project, please? Anything more you'd like to add?
I would say nothing else to add.
Anything else?
I don't have anything.
From the board, Jim?
Nope.
Elizabeth? No. Alyssa?
No.
Mary?
No.
Joe?
No questions.
So this is the land that's constantly flooding when there's a lot of rain. There's always a puddle there, and there's been logs or timbers or something, if that's
Yeah,
what,
the
when I
railroad
come out of
ties.
the backside of Wareham Crossing, it's what I'm looking at.
That's
Yes.
right. And
I just wanted to make sure.
the railroad ties are all gone now, just in case you were interested.
Wow.
Cut down trees to put up solar power.
Yep.
Just don't get it.
So you need all of that 7 acres to be cleared in order to make this a usable field?
That's correct.
No way of saving something?
Well,
No.
we are going to have, there's going to be a vegetative row, along the main road as sort of a visual protection. So we will have trees on the edge.
Yeah, there will be a berm there on Toby Road as well, so there'll be new additional plantings that aren't there
And
currently.
you'll be dealing with what, planning on this, zoning, somebody other than us?
It's a building permit after this, so it's as of right, as I understand.
Now, Mr. Bichette, can we ask them to pick up the litter? Because that's a very bad area
they'll
of
do-
Toby Road that's constantly being littered, and I would like to, I know
Yeah,
it's
hopefully we
outside of
can-
our realm,
Yeah,
but
hopefully they will do that, but obviously, we don't have jurisdiction
No,
over
we
the
don't,
site,
but-
so.
so there's nobody here, so there's nobody here to speak to or for this project. Did I go around the table yet? No, I haven't. Jim? Elizabeth? Alyssa?
No.
Mary?
No question.
Joe? Sandy? I think I've made my
Motion to
litter.
close
I
then?
have a motion to close the hearing by
Second.
Joe, second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Hearing is closed.
Make a motion to reluctantly grant on a -1 and 6 that is not within a resources area.
Joe has made a motion that we grant a -1 and 6 as a determination that there is no wetland resource in the area. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, passes. Please see Mr. Bichette before you start. You've got a lot of work to do before you start this, don't you? Yeah.
But you
That-
still do want us to check in with Dave?
I don't think that's necessary since we've determined there's no wetlands involved at all.
Yep.
Correct?
Correct.
Have a good evening. I hope you don't have far to go.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody had far to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I came from Rockport, so
Oh,
took 3+ hours to get here for myself.
well, there's no traffic now going through the city.
And I can listen to the Celtics game on the way home.
Just don't get aggravated.
We'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
You hanging on to that,
Thank you.
Sandy?
Yeah, I'm hanging on to that one. I think we're just signing this.
What's that? I don't need that.
No,
It's on recording now.
I mean, here, let me have it anyway. We'll attach it because sometime the recording,
Put it in the file.
putting in the file. Putting in the file.
Thank you.
We're signing the approval now. Is there anything else that we'd like to discuss tonight?
We have one more hearing to read.
Oh, we have one more hearing. I keep forgetting we had that one. Okay.
Notice of public hearing pursuant to the provisions of the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in room 320, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. On Wednesday, May 17th, 2017 at 7:15 PM on the notice of intent for Ronald and Lois Enos, 18 Burgess Point Realty Trust, care of GAF Engineering, Inc., 266 Main Street, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to implement a DEP enforcement order for construction of a 4-foot wide access path for property located on Assessor's Map 21, Lot 1021, 18 Burgess Point Road, Wareham, Mass.
Thank you. We've had a request to continue this hearing until June 21st.
Motion to continue?
Is there any discussion, anything want to be said on this project before we continue it? I heard a motion from Joe to continue until 6:21.
Aye.
I hear a second from Jim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. It's being held until 6:21. You're abstaining?
Sure.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we have a 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 1.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
You just made it.
Sorry. We're done, Mr. White.